Today's guest proves that it's never too late to follow your imagination. After earning an engineering degree from the University of London, building a successful career in telecommunications, and spending more than 20 years helping children master math.
Well, hello and welcome. Thank you for coming on
Hello.
today.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So, right off the bat, your career is very fascinating. You went from engineering and telecommunications to teaching math and now the children's books. So,
Yes.
absolutely fascinating journey. Tell us a little bit about that and how that evolution came about.
Right. The idea of me becoming an engineer actually was seeded when I was a little kid. I had a summer job in an antenna factory and I started working with electronics. And I was fault finding, to be exact. And then when I started college, I actually started looking into engineering. In fact, I started doing A levels in mathematics, physics, and chemistry. But I had a problem with smells, so I couldn't do chemistry. Therefore, I started my journey on engineering. So I went to college. I did electrical and electronic engineering. Um, and then at university, it was actually quite fascinating. It was out of 265 students, there were only 5 of us females. So that was also quite fascinating. 4 years later, 2 of us finished out of 8 with a master's in telecoms. So yes, my career started with me being the only female engineer in my department. And it was one of the best experiences I've had. I mean, it had ups and downs, but I learned a lot. I learned that you have to stand up on your 2 feet if you want to actually succeed. You cannot just let go. And as a female, I had to work twice as hard. I'm sure you would appreciate as well.
Oh, yeah.
And then I became a single mother when I was pregnant with my son. My previous husband did not want a child, so we actually broke up. And after I had him, I wanted to go back to engineering, but I had to get into life being a single mother. So I started working in a school as a teacher's assistant, in fact, helping Turkish speaking children in English, maths, and science. And 3 months later, I was asked if I wanted to join all those departments. And, I caught the bug and I decided to go back to university. And I became a teacher. And 20 years, that was 20 fun-filled years, but it was chaotic, it was fun, it was unique. Every day was special. Every child was special. In fact, when I was asked how many children I had, I've now got 3. I used to say 1,003 because I had 1,000 kids at school and I had 3 at home. So, I absolutely loved it. And during all that time, at 20 years, looking at how children learn, how emotions come into play, all of that gave me an idea. I always wanted to do this, but a couple of years ago, we had a pretty horrendous time of it all. My mum was in the hospital, and in fact, the bug who wanted to be a bird, that's the first person I read the book to was my mum. And then we sadly lost her. And as a tribute to her, I thought I have to actually bring the end of it. I have to actually do this and complete it and publish. And luckily I was able to, and it was a way of me keeping sane as a person as well. And at the same time, I went back to university again and started another degree. So I'm just about to finish my second year in
my
business
goodness.
and law degree. So yeah, all
Wow.
of that sort of came into play. It was a way of me expressing myself and actually helping children develop in a positive, more positive, loving, and ambitious, self-accepting way.
Yeah.
And I am hoping that it is going to achieve that.
I I'm first of all, I'm blown away by you right now. Let me just commend you. And I know you're not looking for being commended, but let me just commend you on your unbelievable resiliency, first of all. Your ability to adapt to just really difficult, challenging circumstances in life. And to be doing all of the things and experiences, the personal life experiences that you're going through, and then to just keep persevering and not just surviving, but thriving, like taking these massive pivots in your career, like that part of it, and going to school, returning to school, furthering your education. And as a mom who
Mhm.
spent time as a single mom as well, we all know what that how involving that is, that is your
Yeah,
life. And so to be doing all of the things that you're doing, just a great testament to your personal fortitude and your determination. So impressed by that right off the bat. Um,
thank you.
and
Um,
I love that you pivoted to taking care of those kids and furthering their education. It's so important to for them to have that those early experiences with somebody who, clearly genuinely cares deeply about
mhm.
them and their success and their education. So just absolutely wonderful. Now, you said you're a mom of three. um, did becoming a mom change how you viewed children's literature?
Um, Yes and no. I always loved reading myself, and from the moment they were born, I started reading to them. In fact, all three of my kids love books. They absolutely love reading. Their library is almost bigger than mine
Mhm.
individually, and it wasn't. It hasn't changed the way I look at literature. It has just made me appreciate it a lot more.
Yeah.
Because when I was a child, I mean, my parents were too busy working and looking after the family, and we were not actually read to. We were encouraged to read, and
Hmm.
I'm so grateful for my parents for doing that, because it was not very common, especially for a Turkish girl to go to university, but do a master's, etc. But my parents have always encouraged it. So I, the way I look at books, yes, it is to learn, it is to actually further yourself in every aspect possible, but it is also for enjoyment. And learning becomes a lot more effective when you're enjoying it.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you're one of those rare creatures that you have both the analytical mind and the creative mind. So you get the benefit of both sides of your brain, so to speak, right? Tell me a little bit about your book writing process, because of course, children's books, it's so the creative part of your brain. And then, you have this whole other side of you. I'm so fascinated and curious as to your book writing process for your series. By the way, guys, this is a series. How many books are in this series right now? I'm sorry.
There are 10, they're all
So there's
finished.
10.
Four are published in four languages. I've published them in English, Turkish, Spanish, and German. Turkish, I've translated myself.
Oh,
Um, with German, I had a bit of help from family and friends, and same with Spanish as well.
that's beautiful. Oh, I love that. Many, many different children from different areas get to enjoy this. That's so wonderful. So
I
the process was, I'm sorry, go ahead.
sorry, I actually wanted to take insects
Mm,
because I think they are very little and they are overlooked. Usually they are disliked,
mhm.
but they are everywhere. And, every little creature makes a huge difference. And I wanted to actually relay that to children using small creepy crawlies, if you like, or small beautiful bugs, as I call them. I used to be incredibly scared of them before I
Oh.
had kids. But
Mm-hmm.
as soon as you have kids, oh, it's a spider. You can hold it. It doesn't matter how you're feeling. You're still
Right.
trying to give that message to them that there's nothing to be scared of. So that was one of the main reasons that I actually chose bugs to relay my message across, or my education
Mm-hmm.
across. But the process was actually, like I said, it was to keep me sane during a very, very difficult time.
Yeah.
Initially, I read the first one, and this was before my mum became unwell. And I read it to her, and she really liked it. But I didn't actually think of writing the 10 books at all.
Mm.
That came once my mum was diagnosed with a very serious heart problem. And we went through a couple of years, very turbulent as a family, as a person, as my kids. Essentially, my mum brought them up because I had to be at work
Yeah.
when they had to go to school. So, or I had to be at work when they were picked up from school. So they were going through a very tough period as well. So I had to teach my children that you have to stand up. It doesn't matter what's happening in your life. You have to better yourself. You have to
Mm-hmm.
deal, and there's no point of giving up. So, and I knew that I had to be very strong for my father. I
Mm-hmm.
had to be very strong for my family. I had to be very strong for my kids. The last person I had to be strong for was myself. So
Mm-hmm.
that's how it started. The second book came to mind, and then I
Mm-hmm.
thought, why not the third one? There is so much message to give to children, and I was enjoying the process because it was taking me away from everything
Sure.
else and keeping me sane.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's how it started.
And you were able to channel from all of the challenges that were happening and difficulties that were happening, you were able to channel that into inspirational messaging, life learning help for
I
children
hope
through these
so.
books. Yeah, that's so wonderful. Tell me a little bit about for the first book, the bug who wanted to be a bird. That is the first one. Yes.
That is the first one,
Okay, I
yes.
just wanted to make sure. I think I knew that.
It's it's
um,
um it's about believing in yourself, and it is about a self-doubting ladybug, and she discovers that she is feeling sorry for herself because she is being bullied in a way,
mm,
however beautiful she is. It is for she comes to realization that exploring your dreams, your ambitions, goes through self-acceptance. And I actually think, accepting yourself and being yourself is one of the best things in life, simply because you are your number one, and
mhm,
without yourself, um, people matter, but you have to matter to yourself first. So
mhm,
that was the first message I want to give across. And everybody has unique abilities. Everybody matters. How small they are, how big they feel, how small they feel, how out of place they feel. Everyone has a unique ability and a place on this planet. So it is the best way of accepting yourself.
yeah,
And that's what the bug who wanted to be a bird is giving out as a message. I hope it's going
mhm.
to be enjoyed by children and big children as well. I mean, when I was reading it to my daughter, she couldn't stop laughing. So that
Uh,
that was that was actually quite nice, because she doesn't usually like every book, and she can be quite critical, even though she's only 9. But she absolutely loved it, and every night she wants me to read it. In fact, I actually read her the second book just a couple of days ago, but now she wants both of them.
right.
So I've got a positive reaction from my own child, who can be quite critical.
Mhm.
So I'm hoping it's going to give out the same message, same feelings, same laughter to everybody who reads it.
I love that. That's so sweet. Tell me, so obviously there's so many insects to choose from.
Mhm.
What made you choose a ladybug? And maybe if you wouldn't mind sharing like some of the other without giving too much away. Um,
Well, the ladybug was actually again to do with my mum. I bought a new car, a Honda Jazz, and it was red. And as
Mhm.
soon as my mum sat in it, she called it a ladybug. So
Oh, cute.
that's how it started. And I thought, uh, and everywhere I looked, and even now, everywhere I look, I actually see one. So I
Mm.
believe in um, energy. I believe in positive energy. So
Hmm.
I'm hoping that my mum is giving me a message with the ladybugs as well. So that's how Ladybug was chosen, because of my mum.
I love that. I love that. Yeah, ladybugs are actually they were my first favorite, and then later in life, dragonflies became my
Oh
next
yes,
favorite. Yeah.
dragonflies. I love them as well. In fact, I moved a few months ago, well, back in November, out of London to Essex, and now dragonflies are everywhere as well. So I'm
Oh,
taking that as a positive too.
yes.
So dragonflies and ladybugs everywhere for me at the moment.
Oh, I love it. Did so after you wrote the first book, did you find that was it like immediate for you that you had an idea for the next one, or did it take a little while? Did you think it was just going to be one book and
I
then
actually thought it was going to be just one book.
Mhm.
But later on, when I actually asked some people to read it, like my brother and my sister-in-law, and they said they absolutely loved it, and it was funny. It was a positive message to children, um, and they encouraged me to actually write more. They said, "Why not more?"
Mhm.
They actually were quite surprised because they didn't think that I had that in me, that creativity. Yes, I am
Ah.
quite a problem solver through my engineering, and I do technical
Mhm.
thinking, etc. But they didn't actually think that I had that side of me, and I surprised myself when they gave me that positive reaction as well. So they encouraged me quite a lot. That was mainly my brother and my sister-in-law are the reason for the next lot. I have to
That's
say.
so wonderful. Do you think there will be more in this series? Will this keep going, or do you feel like you're ready to maybe look at, or maybe have something different already going on in the background? Because that's what happens, as
Mhm.
for writers. Once we start, like it triggers all of these other ideas. Are you
Other
finding
ideas.
that?
Yes. My 9-year-old is trying to actually encourage me into writing a chapter book about all of the bugs. That
Oh,
I she keeps mentioning it. Mummy, what about the chapter book? Mummy, what about the chapter book? So I am actually thinking that I may do that first. But yes, I've got other ideas and other creatures in mind as well.
that's so exciting. I love it. Talk to me about what what do you think will happen or could or should happen, when families finish reading one of your books together, what conversation do you hope that they might have after?
I'm hoping that it will encourage positive conversations
Yeah.
about being yourself, about acceptance, about friendship, because all of the books actually touch upon self acceptance and
Mm,
self belief, as well as other things. Yeah, thinking what you're doing doesn't matter.
right.
However, your friends showing that. Yes, you actually play a huge part in this little meadow, but our meadow is the planet, so every child will make a difference in their own unique way. So I'm hoping those types of conversations will take place, and it will encourage children and adults alike to have those positive conversations about
Yeah.
friendships, acceptance, being unique, being different. Uh, the fact that being different is actually a positive thing.
Hmm.
It is not a negative to be different, simply because it means there's only one of you, and whatever you bring to the table, you can improve, but you have to accept what you're bringing to the table and then take a step further. I'm hoping those types of conversations will be
Yeah.
encouraged, and it will be filled with laughter as well. I know I was giggling when I was reading, even though I wrote the book.
Yeah.
When I was reading it to my daughter, every night I'm actually giggling myself. So I'm
That's
hoping
sweet.
that they're going to have fun with it.
I love that you married the elements of, instilling some values, encouragement, affirmation, and all of those qualities, and humor. Just you present it in a lighthearted, sweet way where they don't necessarily sit there and say, "I'm learning something," right? They're just enjoying it, and the messaging is sticking in the back of their mind, hopefully, or hopefully in the forefront of their mind, but if
Hopefully.
not in the forefront, in the back of their mind. And when they're presented with situations or scenarios where they have to call upon their inner fortitude, their own strength, and their own resiliency, there's those reminders that they can remember what the bumblebee did, or what the ladybug did. How did the ladybug handle this situation? And I think that's such a treasure, especially in a time when we're so inundated, or our kids are so inundated by the visual things, cartoons, the types of cartoons that they're watching now, and
Mhm.
video games, and even
Social
social
media.
media. I mean, you see your daughter's 9, so if she's not on it already, I'm sure she probably wants to be, checking out social media, which is just wild. All things
Yes.
that we didn't deal with when we were kids. We were outside. The rules for us when we were kids was go outside and play.
Exactly, and I grew up with that. In fact, I broke my leg playing outside and doing some somersaults on a tree when I was 8. And what did I do with a cast? I carried on doing what I was doing, and I loved it. They
Mhm.
are. I'm trying to encourage, obviously, my kids, but the times are different. They do
So different.
grow up with it.
Hmm.
Having said that, though, my 23-year-old son, he doesn't have a single social media account.
Oh,
He
that's
he
so
doesn't.
awesome.
So, you know, I am absolutely gobsmacked that
Yeah.
that is possible in this day and age. But
Mhm.
that's the reality. I can't say the same thing about my two girls, but
Sure.
you know, at least one of them has been saved from certain things. Because social media can be incredibly powerful if it's
Mhm.
used properly. However,
Yeah.
there's a lot of misinformation out there. A lot of things can happen if you're not keeping an eye on
Right.
young kids. Yeah.
Yeah.
So hopefully, alongside the social media, they're not leaving books, because books give you a
Yes.
whole load of imagination. It takes you to a different world,
Absolutely.
especially if it's written well. Um, and I love feeling that way. So I'm hoping that my books will actually give that feeling as well, celebrating differences and helping others. In this subconscious is also very powerful. So even if
Hmm.
it's not at the forefront of their minds, subconsciously, if it's instilled, I think that's still very good.
Absolutely. I noticed right away with the cover that the illustrations, they're bright, they're vivid, they're just they're so appealing. Talk to me a little about the illustrations, what role you played in that. If somebody else did them for you, like how did you relay your vision to them?
Um, My publishers, Pantheon, they actually did the illustrations, but
Oh,
we did
nice.
have conversations about how I wanted the characters and what colors I wanted, how I wanted the meadows or which flowers even.
Oh,
And they
nice.
were incredible in producing such vivid and colorful illustrations. And I think that plays a huge part in the appeal as well, because children like color. They don't like gray, they don't like
Hmm.
black and white. and the world is not black and white. So why should the book cover be, you know?
Hmm.
And that was one of the things that I really appreciated of my publishers, and they've been incredible with the whole inner
That's
designs and
great.
the illustrations.
That's so nice. What has been the best part of this experience of writing the books and publishing the books and doing this part? Of course, this part's your favorite, right?
Yes, this part is,
It's
I
the
was
best
so
part.
nervous because I've never
No.
done a podcast before, but I was so nervous, but I was so looking forward to it at the same time. And I was
Oh,
thinking, am I going to be able to speak? Am I going to be shaking? You know, usually because I do, I get very nervous when I'm
sure.
nervous, I start shaking. Even though, I taught for 20 years and I spoke to at least 30 kids at the same time, that doesn't matter.
Hmm.
Giving insets and all of that does not matter. It goes out of the window.
Right.
But I am so grateful to be here. It
Oh,
is so much fun.
good, good.
um,
I'm so glad. And if it helps any, I'm always nervous. I do so many of these. I'm always nervous before. I always have the butterflies. Always, I think it's just human nature.
it
That's what
is.
we do. We have to switch
Butterflies.
it.
I have a caterpillar as well.
Oh, I love caterpillars. I do. Yeah, you know what? I was the insect kid, which is so funny because when I got older, I was not, certain ones, the ladybugs, the dragonflies and caterpillars. I still frogs. I know that's an amphibian, not a not an insect, but we lump them all
Yes.
together. But yeah, so I love this. These are my grandkids are going to be getting these books for
Oh,
gifts. So
thank you
I'm
so
very
much.
excited. So
Um,
absolutely.
Coming
Um,
back to your question, other than the podcast, my favorite part is the look on my kids' faces when I said my books are published. That was my
oh,
favorite part.
that's so awesome. They have to be
Yeah.
so, so proud of you. And I bet they do. I gotta say, my mom's an author. My mom's an author. That's so
um,
sweet.
well, my 9-year-old took the book to school to show and tell, so she was
Oh,
very proud. And the next day, I had a parent at the playground when I went to pick her up, and he just took out a book and said, "Could you sign this, please?" And
oh,
that was the first time, and that made me feel like a real author, if you like.
sure,
Like, oh
sure.
my God, somebody's actually got my book and I'm signing it.
That
I
is
shared that
so
to my with my
wonderful.
family. I said I did my first book signing.
Oh, I love that. I know it is an amazing feeling. It's very surreal, right? Like it's
Yes,
just like
yes,
this is me. This is real life that this is
yeah.
happening. Oh, how awesome. All right, play a little lightning round with me here. They're going to be short, quick, easy, very easy questions.
Okay.
Or maybe, I don't know. Sometimes I get stumped. I get stumped. Somebody questions me. Ironic, right? Your favorite children's book growing up?
It was definitely The Lord of the Rings, although it's not really a children's book, I
Sure.
don't think, but it was The Lord of the Rings. I must have read it so many times, and I love it.
That's awesome. Favorite bug?
My favorite bug has to be either a ladybug or a dragonfly.
Yep, I feel that one. Let's see. Favorite bird?
Favorite bird, I like all of them, but crows have a special place in my heart.
Me too. Are we the same person? That's so funny. I love them. There's something about
Yeah.
them, right?
They are so clever. It's just,
They're so
yeah,
smart.
looking at them, watching them they are mesmerizing.
They absolutely are. Beach or mountains? I know you're a nature girl, so
Um,
we're going with all the
I
nature
have
stuff.
I have to say beach.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I get it. Morning writer or late night writer?
Late night, right?
Late night. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I used to be. And then I switched over to morning. I had told myself that I had to treat it like it was a job, like it's, the job that's paying me. And so
Yeah.
I switched over. But yeah, I was a late night too. All right, this is the absolute silliest one. If you could spend one day as any animal, what would it be?
I would love to be an octopus, although it's not a
Oh,
bug. I would
that's
love to
okay.
be an octopus. Yes.
They are another one that's like outrageously intelligent, right?
Intelligent,
They
yes.
are so incredible. Absolutely. Um, Tell everyone, if you could, where they can find your books. If you do any book signing events or anything like that, please feel free to let them know that. And if there's a website, give them all the details because they're going to be running to get these.
Well, my books are available on Amazon in 40, well, in different countries, but they're also available in 40,000 different outlets around the world as well. Um, but Amazon is a big one. If they just search for my name, all of the books come up in different languages. And I also have my website. It is being developed at the moment as well. They could go on there at the moment. Only the first book is there with the details. But like I said, Amazon, if they search for my name, all four books come in four different languages.
That's so cool that they're in so many different languages and so many different markets. I love that. That's so wonderful. I cannot thank you enough for spending a little time with me here and sharing your books and your story and your life with us. I know my audience is just going to love you and these books to pieces. So thank you very
Thank
much.
you. Thank you so much for inviting me and your time. You have been
Absolutely.
amazing. And
Oh,
I am
good.
not shaking at all, so thank you.
Yay. That absolutely makes my day. So thank you. All right, my friends, thank you all for watching. We will see you in the next episode. And as always, all of those links will be in the show notes. You'll be able to click right on them, get right over to Amazon or the website and purchase those books for your kids and your grandkids. They make fantastic gifts. We have all kinds of things coming up. So I think that they are perfect gifts. And we will see you guys in the next episode. Take care.
You've got a story worth sharing. Now it's time to tell it well. Whether you're an author, entrepreneur, influencer, or podcast guest, stepping in front of the camera or microphone can feel overwhelming. On the other side of the mic is your practical, encouraging guide to becoming a confident, authentic, and engaging interviewee. Written by media personality and best-selling author Elsa, this book blends real-world wisdom from hundreds of interviews with a touch of humor, grace, and heart. It's more than a how-to. It's a roadmap to presence, professionalism, and peace in every conversation.